You're listening to episode 33 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Hey, I'm Eugene B. Sims, and again, thanks for checking out the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. It is greatly appreciated, and give the page a like on Facebook. Just Wheeler's Dog. Look it up. Like it. Give some love to Twitter at Wheeler's Dog and Instagram Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Yeah, check it out. First of all, I've started eating out. The whole family's just kind of started eating out again. And one of the first things my wife was craving a cheeseburger from Sonic. Now, I like Sonic, and here's the reason why I like Sonic. My grandmother used to operate a diner in a place called Gap Mills, West Virginia. It's in Monroe County, just right outside the county seat. Well, maybe not right outside, but it's down the road, Highway 3, from Union, the county seat of Monroe County. But she ran a diner there. I was a little kid, single digits. And my cousin and I would spend lots of time there. We ate lots of hamburgers. That's right, cooked right there on the grill. Fantastic burgers. Toasted buns. Delicious burgers. The woman could make some darn good burgers. So, my cousin Dan and I, we kind of grew up on those, as well as Paula, and I don't think Sharon was around just yet. But I know Dan and I ate quite a few burgers. I want to say that Pam ate quite a few. That's my sister Pam. But those burgers have been hard to find until I got a Sonic burger. When I tasted a Sonic burger, it all came rushing back. It tastes just like her hamburgers. They're awesome. So that's why I like to go to Sonic. So when my wife suggested that, well, she didn't suggest. She had a craving for Sonic cheeseburger. Well, I jumped at the chance to help her out with that craving. First of all, cravings should never be denied. Ever. Never. No. So I got in the car. First of all, I got everybody's order. And that included Matthew, who wanted corn dogs. I didn't even know they had corn dogs. Yeah. So anyway, he wanted some corn dogs, and they wanted some cheeseburgers, Sonic burgers. And they come with lettuce and tomato and onions. That's the pre-made burger, whatever you want to call it. That's what you get unless you tell them you don't want it. But I get in line, and I'm talking about the drive-through line, not the, I don't park in a spot there to get a to-go order. So I get in line, and I give the guy the order. I want 3 Sonic burgers. And they're all cheese. One of them comes as it says it comes, but they want mayo and ketchup. And on the second burger, they want it just as it comes with ketchup. But for the third one, we want it just plain. Just plain. It's a little trick I learned from Matt Clark and his brother, that you order your things plain, that way they don't screw them up. Because plain is easy, as opposed to just saying ketchup and cheese only. So, no problem. Every time, here's the thing. Every time we go, and it's an order for more than 2 people, this particular Sonic, and I'm talking about the one on Louisville Clemens Road in Clemens, they get it wrong. They just cannot get multiple orders right. It's usually something wrong, or here's the big kicker, they've shorted me an item. I can't tell you how many times they've shorted items. Either Chigs will come in from work and pick something up, they shorted something out of the order. Most of the time it's mine. That's the thing. Which is highly irritating because, when she gets home with a bag of greasy goodness, I'm ready to tear into that joker. You know what I mean? And then you find out that your item isn't there. Well, it's just heartbreaking. And it also pisses you off to where you actually call them up and say, hey, why can't you guys ever get this right? And then, they say, well, come on in, blah, blah, blah. We'll make it right in the next order. Just talk to so-and-so and tell them this and this. Okay, whatever. And chances are we never go back. Most of the time we don't. We just kind of like, maybe one of these days we'll get lucky and they'll have a bag full of stuff we didn't order. I've actually had that happen before. So I get my order and then something added to it. Like a sandwich or something. Usually it's like a Whopper or a Big Mac that I don't eat because of all the stuff on it. And I'm talking like lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions. I'll eat the sesame seed bun, but that's about it. The other stuff, keep it. Don't want it. So, I get the 3 burgers, as I told you. I get 2 fries and an order of jalapeno poppers and 1 Tots. After I got the order, I looked in the bag. I took a count. All of them were there. I wasn't getting shorted. I've played that game too many times to get shorted again. So, I checked the orders before I even drive off the lot. Well, I get home and I'm trying to figure out the burgers. They made it real easy for me. They put little stickers on there. One of them said mayo ketchup. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know who that is. The other one said ketchup. Oh, yeah, I know who that is. And the other one had a little sticker on there, plain. I opened mine up. Guess what I got? It's a plain burger. It's just meat and bread. No cheese. Not happy about that. But, I do have cheese here to add at home, so it's not a big deal. Chigs opens hers. What do you think? She had the mayo and ketchup. What do you think she got? She got a cheeseburger with just mayo and ketchup. That's right. They left off the lettuce, tomato, onions. What did the meal get? Well, they left off the lettuce, tomato, onions, and she got the mayo. So, yeah. Corn dogs were right. They're pretty hard to screw up. The Tots, everything, fantastic. So I'm like, oh, geez, why can they not ever get an order right? It just seems like if they got an order for 3 or more, it just kind of sends them into a tailspin. It's just too much. Maybe it's the fact that maybe some of them are on roller skates because, maybe they're like that in the kitchen. I don't know. Maybe they're like that at the counter. I don't know. But for some reason, the Sonic here in Clemens is just, they can't handle more than 2 orders. I saw a commercial for Sonic. Apparently they've gotten rid of the 2 guys that sit in the convertible. You know what I'm talking about? Those guys that everybody seems to hate, but I find them mildly amusing. It seems like they've got like this family now that's at Sonic. Who knows? Maybe it's kind of like one of those Progressive commercials or Geico where they've got different spokespeople doing different commercials for different angles. Maybe that's the case. I like the 2 guys that sit in the convertible. But anyway, I saw this commercial for this new chicken slinger sandwich they've got. Yeah, it looks like they're tossing their hat into the ring with Popeyes because they want to take down the chicken sandwich industrial complex known as Chick-fil-A. By the way, the Popeyes sandwich, a lot of people rave about. I still like the Chick-fil-A. So, this looked interesting to me. They had one that was spicy, and they had one not spicy. The only thing that keeps me from getting it as it comes, it has pickles on it. Pickles. Pickles are nasty. Let's go ahead and say that. But anyway, the sandwich was good and crispy, right? But the order was inaccurate. They didn't put the spicy sauce on there. You know, apparently they do it just like Popeyes. They just add a sauce, so it's just one filet, and they add the sauce to the bun, just kind of spread it out there. Well, the sandwich, the chicken was damn good. Nice and crispy. I had mayo on it, but it had pickles. Pickles. Oh, God, I hate pickles. You know, I've said it a million times. If pickles didn't exist, I think we'd have world peace. That's how nasty they are. They're horrible. I don't understand anybody that can eat them and just eat them. Like my sisters would just pick them up out of a jar and just eat them. Oh, God, and they smell horrific. Ugh. God. And, you know, raw pickles, and I'm talking about cucumbers, they aren't any good either. You know, if a pig, they say pigs will not eat cucumbers. And pigs apparently are pretty smart animals, so they say. I'd like to think I'm a little bit smarter than a pig, but I will join a pig on his belief with cucumbers and pickles. Yeah, because, yeah, I'm fairly large, but I ain't eating the damn things. Let me tell you, they're disgusting. Can't stand the smell. Can't stand the taste. And sure enough, even though I wiped off the entire bun and tried my best to see if there was like any pickle seeds in there, I got a flavor of pickle on my sandwich. Don't like it. It's disgusting. Growing up, my father used to always say, oh, you just eat it. We're going to order it the way it comes and you just take off what you don't like. So McDonald's, whenever they went to McDonald's, I protested. Just, you know, practically stage a march whenever they would mention that because I didn't want to go to McDonald's. This is before they had stuff like McNuggets. I would have eaten McNuggets. But as a kid, you know, the thing is my dad wanted fast food and wanted it fast. You know what I mean? He didn't have time to sit there and wait for a special grill order. As I recall, it wasn't until Burger King started the Have It Your Way campaign in like the early 70s with Meadowlark Lemon. I used to have the poster of him with stacked up Whoppers next to him. You know what I mean? They were having it your way. You could have them, all these different combinations. So when went to Burger King, it was great. I didn't have to get pickles on anything. I could get a cheeseburger with just cheese and ketchup. It was wonderful. It was like I was liberated. Yes. And my parents didn't seem to mind then. But McDonald's, man, you'd always get the pickles and you'd always get the onions. Those horrific onions. Ugh. I don't know how people eat that stuff either. Back then, I had no choice. The way Dad had decreed it. I just had to peel the stuff off as best as possible. Sometimes even pulling out little pockets of bread that may have touched the pickles and onions. They were disgusting. And then sometimes try to drown it with ketchup. Drown the flavor with ketchup. Yeah, lots of times it wasn't very good. You could still taste it. I can still taste it. I could have back then. I still can now. Sometimes my wife likes to try to sneak something by me. She'll sneak some onions into something. I'll take one bite and like, hey, you got onions in there. She's like, how could you tell? It's like, trust me, I can tell. My buddy Tim Beeman, associate producer, he does a food podcast. Man Who Ate the Town. There we go. The Man Who Ate the Town. It's about Winston-Salem food and all that stuff. He says, I'm a super taster. Yeah. So I am. It's the only superpower I have is to taste things. So I'll go along with that. That's why I don't like a whole lot of, what do you call it? Pungent things. I don't even like lettuce. Like iceberg lettuce is horrible. But, you know, I will eat spinach, and my wife actually put spinach on one of my Subway sandwiches. It was okay, but I don't care for it, you know. I want to taste the meat. That's the main reason I'm eating a sandwich. That's the main reason why I'm eating meat, is because I want to taste the meat. I don't want anything to interfere with the meat unless it's a ketchup or a mayo or a cheese. You know, that's all I want basically on any kind of
Want
sandwich.
extra episodes of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast? Of course you do. No one in their right mind would pass up an opportunity to get a bonus episode every week. Not every once in a while, but one every week. Just go to patreon.com/WheelersDog and get into the dog share for just $4. $4 every month unlocks all the audio. You can even listen with the Patreon app for tablets and smartphones. Patreon.com/WheelersDog to contribute. It's the best gift that you could ever give yourself, really. Maybe.
One day last week, I know I told you about this, I posted something on Facebook. I was up earlier than usual. The dogs got me up early. And I was listening to the radio online. I'll go ahead and say it. Online, rock92.com here in the Triad area. And you can listen online there too. I think they also have an app as well. So I was just listening online and waiting for my favorite morning show. Two guys named Chris. I started listening to them the first broadcast they ever had. Been listening to them ever since. They are my favorite morning show. Occasionally I will dabble to their sister station. Excuse me. And that's Jared and Katie in the morning. I'll dabble in with them because, I've gotten to know those guys pretty well because I used to work at Rock 92 and KZL with all those folks. And, excuse me, I don't know why I've got something going on with my throat. I hope it's not as my mother-in-law calls it now, the coronavirus. Yeah, she has a different name for it, like every time you turn around. But anyway, Two Guys Named Chris is my favorite morning show, and I've been privileged enough to work with them in a producer's role and answering phone calls, phone screening, that sort of thing. And it was a big hoot. I enjoyed working with the morning show. I once asked Chris Kelly, I was like, hey man, do you ever kind of get used to these hours? And he says, no. So, yeah, you got to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and get to work and show prep. Believe me, you've got to prep for your show. Trust me. You can't just put it together. And that's the thing. A lot of people just think that they just get in there and talk. No. There's prepping going on. Lots of prep. Morning shows teams, they put in long hours, especially the producers, where, the stars or whatever, they just tell the producers what needs to be done. Actually, Two Guys Named Chris are fantastic. I actually deleted a piece of audio one time for a friend of mine that wanted a bit, and I wanted to, put an MP3, give them an MP3 copy of it, and I accidentally erased it. And so I had to go and face the music, and they were kind of like, it's all right. That's how cool they were to work with. I mean, granted, I wouldn't want to be on either one of them's bad side if I screwed anything up, but, they were always really cool with me, and I really appreciate it. And last week, Chigs was out on the deck, and we were talking about something. I was listening to the show, and I just went outside. Well, when I came back in, I heard someone say, Eugene. I was like, wait, could they be talking about me? They saw my post on Facebook, and I was talking about The Stroke by Billy Squier was on the air. Great song. Fantastic song. Then, there was a Rock 92 liner, and then it was followed by Bon Jovi. You Give Love a Bad Name. I don't care for that song. I don't care for Living on a Prayer. A lot of their songs I don't care for. Lots of them were co-written with a guy named Desmond Child. And Desmond Child's songwriting style drives me bananas. It's like rah, 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 cheerleading, hate it. Even the songs that he did with Kiss, not all of them. Heaven's on Fire is a good song. But Desmond Child just has a certain blueprint and a certain sound. And most of the time it drives me up a wall. And when Bon Jovi got huge, I never quite understood it. Because as good musicians as they were, I just didn't get it. the whole songwriting style just got on my nerves. But anyway, I came back in and they were talking, it was about me. Chris Kelly was telling his story that he remembered about me. And also Biggie shared his story. And the funny thing is, I don't even remember that even happening. It totally sounds like something I would say because my wife often tells me one of these days somebody's going to punch me or shoot me because of some of the things I say. Because whenever I see a chance for a joke, lots of times I don't think about it. I just, I'm like a running back and I see a hole in the defensive line. I'm going for it. I don't think about the consequences, what might be hiding over behind the linebacker over there. I go for it. Here's that clip.
Welcome back to the Two Guys Named Chris show. Kristen was just telling me a former coworker, colleague, and a dear friend, Eugene, was talking about getting ready. He was up early and getting ready to listen to this show, and he put it out on social media. I thought that was really nice.
Gave him a like.
I miss him.
Do you?
I don't remember him that well.
No, there's no way you do.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I remember one exchange I had with Eugene. We both...
This is one of my... I think I was in the room.
You were.
It was one of my favorite exchanges in history.
You were. He came in, chatted. I didn't talk to him that much when he was here.
No.
But he came in and he was talking... The movie Sex and the City had come out. I was a big fan. You know my likes of...
It's well established.
Yes. So I'd seen it opening day and came in just raving about it. Just telling Kristen, oh, you've got to see Sex and the City.
Oh, the movie.
The movie is so good.
If you love the show, you'll adore the movie.
So Eugene comes in and says, did you see that pile of trash, Sex and the City, the movie this weekend? I was like, OMG, I loved it. And he goes, I hated it. And I said, well, you must not have liked the show. And he said, I love the show. And walked out.
He thought it did.
Yeah.
The movie didn't do the show justice.
That's right.
The characters.
He nailed me. I mean, he just nailed me right between the eyes.
You couldn't predict him.
Couldn't. He's unpredictable. That's why he's so good. He's unpredictable.
He kept you off balance.
Every time. I would say to him something I think he would love. Oh, my God, Seinfeld, the Soup Nazi episode is one of my favorite. It's awful. That's a terrible episode. All those things. And
right.
Every time I would try to get on his good side.
Try to predict and read.
I would say something that I thought would be somehow enlightening or something like that. And then, bam, he just cut me. That's it.
Have I ever told you my favorite Eugene story?
No.
Okay. It was right when I first started here. We were at a party together. Mm-hmm. And a group...
A station function or just a party?
No, just a party.
Yeah.
And a group had assembled in the kitchen. And this woman was telling this very serious story about how her ex-lover would hold a gun to her head during sex. Like that was what he was into.
Do I know?
No. This is, I didn't know the woman. I kind of walked in. Yeah. You don't know the person. I don't know.
Gun to head during sex.
But that was his
Her
thing.
turn on, or his turn on?
Some people need it.
Yes. And she would let him do this. And I guess one time, she really got nervous and she's telling the story and, tears are almost in her eyes and everyone is quiet.
I bet.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And Eugene out of nowhere goes, no, what kind of gun was it?
See? Off balance.
See how he does?
Yeah.
Everyone's going one way.
Right.
He goes the other.
That's right.
And I could not stop laughing for the next hour. As this woman is nearly in tears, and everybody's just dying with her on every word. Oh my God. What kind of gun was it?
That's his gift.
I think my son's going to be that way. My wife is, one of us will every once in a while make some sort of poignant statement, and right on the heels of it, he's just like, what time's the golf match come on? I mean, it's completely just totally opposite of anything, that you'd ever know.
Oh, yeah.
And he would just say something completely out of left field all the time. I like that Eugene story. That's better than his Sex and the City story.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. What? And he just, bam, I'm out. That's it. He's a good broadcaster. Mm-hmm. I think he's podcasting now. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, definitely has a podcast.
There you are.
And again, thanks to Two Guys Named Chris for allowing me to play that audio for you. I hit Biggie up to see if he could give me the audio and ask for permission, and the guy says, yeah, sure, I can use it. So again, thanks to Two Guys Named Chris. Thanks to Biggie. Thanks to Weather Dave. I do appreciate it. Chris Kelly takes a lot of crap from listeners. And, deservedly so. But I will tell you one thing. The guy plays a radio broadcast board like he's Liberace. He makes it look so effortless and so seamless. I mean, the guy is fantastic. Great talent. He also was at the Murphy School of Broadcasting. I'm talking about Jack Murphy. I've ran boards for him, and he really taught me how to run a board tight and efficient as well. So I got really good running a board for Jack Murphy because he can change on you like a squirrel in the middle of the road. You know what I mean? You think you're going one way, and all of a sudden, 10 seconds to go, he will change it up the other way. So you had to be quick on your feet, actually on your mouth these days. But, man. So that's why Chris Kelly is so good. Chris Dim, I've known Chris since he started at Rock 92. I want to say it was 1986, 87. I was dating a girl there, and I sort of worked there unofficially. Let's just say very unofficially that nobody really knew about. So Chris Dim was the trivia guy, always. And, we'd sit around at parties and try to out-trivia other people. And generally, he would come out on top. So when they had a morning show, they started the Put Up or Shut Up Rock and Roll Trivia. The guy's fantastic. I played him one time on the air before I started working there properly in the late 90s, 2000s. I think 99 is when I joined. But played him one time. He beat me 6-7 or 7-6. And then playing, at home, listening on the road or something like that, I've only beaten him a handful of times, but it's a different animal to play in your car, to play along. And then most of the time, he beats me. The guy really knows his rock and roll trivia, knows his stuff, and, I like to think I know mine, so he's that much better. Biggie, I will tell you this, I said it one of the other podcasts. I actually interviewed for the job, but I was told by program director that I was just too left field, too out there with my sense of humor to be part of the show. But Biggie, that was a great decision to put Biggie on there. I kind of wish they'd spin Biggie off and give him his own show, or at least take him off the phones in the mornings. Put somebody else on the phones. But budgets being what they are, I get that. Guy's hilarious. Just off the cuff hilarious. Yeah, again, thanks to two guys named Chris, Biggie, and Weather Day for the audio. I do appreciate it.
Put on some vinyl, pour a glass of bourbon, nestle into that plush, deep pile carpet, and wait, get that crap out of here. We like to rock. Talking about music in a unique way. Listen to Beeswax Vinyl and more anywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com. We're more than just vinyl.
I'm going to wrap things up here on the Wheeler's Dog podcast. Again, thanks to associate producer Tim Beeman for all of his help with the TLD Podcast Network. And I guess I'm on out of here. Oh, yeah, hold on. The Wheeler's Dog Speak line, 336-422-6006. Been a while since I've got any calls. Well, we get calls, mostly from robo numbers, but nobody's leaving any messages. So feel free to leave any messages, share a story that you want to share, whatever. Tell me about something. As a matter of fact, somebody made a comment on Patreon.com. Damien, he made a comment about he'd like to know something about wrestlers that I've always liked and how I got into wrestling. Well, that's coming up. And I think Chris, I got to review him. I think he said something one time about doing something on the podcast. So, yeah, I'll have to do that on the Patreon-only episodes. And kind of expand on that because, I do get requests, but hey, who knows? Maybe you're interested in why I got into professional wrestling, why I liked it, and why I don't care for it anymore. Yeah. Lifelong fan, not so much anymore. All right, folks, I'm out. See you, let's see. Friday only. Patrons only on patreon.com. Toodles.
And everyone's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And Eugene out of nowhere goes, no, what kind of gun was it?
See? Off balance.
See how he does?
Yeah.